Hello everyone, what's up? It's Thursday. I am back. I am shaved to a certain degree. And my hair is not being held back by a headband, so now you get to see the developing length. I'm growing my hair out a bit, just to see what it looks like. Okay, so today I'm doing a cover of a song that I don't know by REN. Okay, so I did song 2 by Blur a few months ago, and I said at the time I don't know this song, and then it started playing and I recognized it. I don't know Bittersweet Symphony by name. I don't recognize it. I've heard the song title. I've heard of the Verve, but I've never listened to them, and I don't know that I know this song. So I may recognize it as it gets going, but as far as I'm aware, I don't know this song, so I'm not exactly going to be able to comment on how different the cover is from the original, right? But we'll get into that as we go. A few things before we get started. Like and subscribe. I always appreciate that. We're getting pretty close to 5,000 subscribers as it happens. And I don't have any real, anything planned for 5,000. If you guys want to suggest something, you're welcome to. I'm happy to take suggestions, but it's just sort of a fun milestone to hit. So if you would subscribe, helps me out. I appreciate it. I have my espresso, as always. I'm not a professional musician. I'm not a professional audio tech. I'm not a professional music reviewer or anything like that. I just do this for fun. So please don't expect me to get too into the weeds on composition or anything like that. That's really not my strength. And don't be a dick. This may not be for you. I may not be for you. I'm actually wearing my Beat England shirt. Beat England again, because we did beat them in the 1950 World Cup. I'm wearing this again, so, I have nothing against the English, but just a little bit of fun. But, let's try to keep it polite in the comments. I try to be really thoughtful when I do these, and I would appreciate it if we could just keep that going. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. This is Bittersweet Symphony by the Verve by REN. Oh, okay. I recognize this intro.
I've got dirt on my Reeboks from staying up all night. Spent my last £10 on this pack of Marlboro Lights. I phoned up Stevie, I said, G, you alright? He said, it's 6 in the morning, brother, get some shut-eye. I feel a sense of well-being this time in the morning. Wear my heart out of my hoodie while the city is snoring. Drunks falling off the sidewalks get issued a warning. Distant sirens, they crescendo like a symphony calling. This is the Britain I know, this is the Britain I love. There's poetry inside this city if you listen enough. Working class casualties out on the street sleep rough, while a mother with her baby takes her pram to the pub. And while she's knocking them down, the cost of living goes up. I can't relate to politicians with their head in the mud. I resonate with messy Fridays with the boy smoking bud. We do our bit to numb the struggle, as below so above, and as above so below. Here in the city we glow. I blow a smoke ring up to heaven and it makes a halo. And then the clock strikes 7, guess it's time to head home. My companion is the city, so I'm never alone. I'm stepping in and out of gaps as the pavement cracks, and if I go to sleep now, that's an anticlimax. People rise for work and the sun mirrors that. A perfect juxtaposition for those out on the lash. Bear with me, it's beautiful, I think it's irrefutable. There's beauty in a contradicting Britain, indisputable. Junkie in the cubicle, that old spoon is usable. His mother's in a black suit, crying at a funeral. 9 to 5 crucible, this route is not commutable. A kid falls off the tracks and then he serves a scratch at juvenile. Libby's at the Dolies, but her disposition's humorful, while Davy's at the bookies and his mates call him delusional. Britain, drink it down and moan about the weather when the sun starts shining. Feel the factor 10 tremor. Boys will be in it together until the fists start flying like they're Conor McGregor, and then he's out. I think he took it too far. I think the boy saw red. I think he hit him too hard. Now he's face down on the pavement with the face full of tar. Mad how small altercations can define who we are. That's my cue. I guess it's time to head home. It's bittersweet how my high found its way to below. And I've said it once before, as above so below. Living on the streets of Britain, you just go with the flow. But I'm done, I'm out for the night. As the sun paints the pavements, I'll turn out the light. White noise on the radio to quiet my mind. Always was an overthinker, just the way I'm designed. Britain. Drink it down and moan about the weather. When it's all said and done, we'll be in it all together. Boys will be boys, we'll be like it forever. It's a bittersweet symphony, we're birds of a feather.
I like it. Okay, clearly it's not a cover. It's just reusing the music. So, a few thoughts. I know a little bit about the geography of England, and because I follow soccer, or football, as you Brits like to call it, you made up the term soccer. Let's just be clear. British people made up the term soccer. We did not invent that. I know that Ren he lives in Brighton. He is Welsh, which again makes me, I connect with that a little bit. My family heritage, going back far enough, is Welsh. So I have a little bit of a love there. But he lives in Brighton. And Brighton and Hove Albion, the football team, soccer team, they're the Seagulls. And so you can hear the seagulls in the background because Brighton is, coastal. So that was kind of fun. You get to hear the seagulls in the background, birds of a feather, etc. A little bit of audio syncing up with the lyrics, which is intentional, certainly. I like the song. I like where his head's at. It is it's a tough time to be English, frankly, after Brexit. That caused more problems than the people who were pushing it expected. They caused all the problems that people who thought it was a bad idea expected. Talking about people sleeping rough. That's an interesting little, euphemism. It's just homeless people. It's people who are sleeping outside, sleeping on benches, in parks, by buildings. I've seen plenty of that in the U.S. I lived in Los Angeles for a while. You see it. And I'm gonna take a slight detour from the song to just talk about societal issues for a second, because these are the things that I'm passionate about, and I think that when music makes you think about stuff, it's worth discussing. So, in the U.S., we have an estimated somewhere between 500,000 to 1 million homeless people. You could even double that. Let's say 2 million. All right, that's the high end. A lot of these people are short-term homeless, less than 6 months. A lot of people are without address, but not necessarily without a place to be. Right? You might be couch surfing or staying with a friend. There are plenty of people who live out of their cars who, for some reason, lost their housing, but they didn't lose their job, right? So they're still employed, they're still working, they still have income. They're just in between, right? They're trying to lock down a place to stay. But that aside, let's say there's 2 million people in the U.S. living on the streets, like long-term, longer than 6 months, on the streets. No job, no car. There are between 7 and 11 million vacant housing units in the U.S. I actually, in a previous life, this channel was designed for something else, and I did a video about the housing crisis in America. There are far more vacant rooms, houses, buildings, etc., than there are people who need them. We do not have a shortage of housing. We have a shortage of affordable housing in the U.S., but we could just make housing free for people. Like that, there are many arguments you can make about it. You can say, well, it wouldn't be reasonable, it wouldn't be economically good. You can make all the arguments you want, and you can discuss those. But the fact is, we could house all the people currently who do not have housing. That we could just do it. Same is true in England. That there's homeless people in the UK. There are a lot fewer because there's a lot fewer people in the UK than there are here. I think the population of the UK is something like 80 million, 60, 70, 80 million, somewhere in there. So about 1/6 the size of the US. there are empty buildings. There are empty things that could be turned into housing. In the US, we have a lot of dying shopping centers. Well, they're already wired up to the grid, heating, electric, water. You could put people in there if you wanted to. You could put people in hotels that have vacant rooms. You could buy housing in places like San Francisco from people who are holding apartments empty as an investment, charging $5,000 a month to live there. You could just purchase that property and turn it into housing for people who don't have housing. We could solve the problem, right? England could solve the problem. This is not something that has to be an issue. We do not have a shortage. It's just cruelty. It's just cruelty. And that really sticks with me, because there is a whole, the Protestant work ethic, Christians, and, nobody should get anything for nothing, which is very silly, because let me just point out, I was raised in the church by a preacher who reads Greek and Hebrew, right? The biblical languages. My dad is a scholar. Christians, we were given the grace of God, right? For nothing. While we were still sinners, the Bible says, Christ died for us so that we could have access to eternal life. We didn't do anything to deserve it. We got it for nothing. And yet, Christians are some of the most unwilling people to give somebody something for nothing. I find that very disappointing. And unchristian. I understand I've wandered away from the song, but if you like my channel and you like me, then you are used to this sort of thing. If not, well, welcome. This happens from time to time. I'm a passionate person. I don't show a lot of emotion when I'm doing reviews or anything like that, but I am passionate about some things, particularly societal issues. And when I have the opportunity to expound on them, I like to. Okay, we'll go back to the song. I really like the song. I'll have to listen to it a few more times to really catch all the lyrics. Like, obviously, there were lyrics on the screen, right? I was following along. I like Ren's voice. I think Ren and Shadi Horo, who is somebody that I really like, he's a battle rapper, who also put out like a, Oasis-inspired album. I think they would do well together. I think they'd be interesting if they did a show together. They don't have, Shadi's from Manchester, and obviously Ren is from Brighton by way of Wales. But I think that they have similar philosophies, and I think they'd be fun to see together performing. So yeah, okay, so this is the Verve. I follow Ren on Twitter, and I did see that after this video, one of the guys from the Verve sent him a bass, which is pretty sick. That's really cool. Not only is it just cool to get an instrument from a musician, but it's also a really nice cosign, right? We saw what you did, and we liked it. We thought what you did with our work was good. We appreciated that you were, putting your own spin on it. Not all artists are like that. Not all artists appreciate having their work touched, right? So that's very nice. That's a cool little point, right? If you're keeping score as a musician, like, is this gonna work? Is that gonna work? Right? Well, that was a hit. Okay, that's one. This is a point that you can take for yourself. Say, I did a good job. I did a good enough job that the people whose song I was improvising over liked it and rewarded me, and that's gotta be really fulfilling. So I like it. I'll get to, was it Violet's Tale? I think I'll get to that at some point. I will certainly do more Ren. I've mentioned this on other artists that I do, sort of recurring videos. I do not want to become a channel that only follows or really overloads on one artist. So I try not to do more than one video a week. So if you like my Dimash reviews or my Alip reviews or Baby Metal, or right, I try not to overload. I try to do one of those a week, maybe two if something new comes out after I've already done a video. You know, I'll go cover the new song that came out. But I try to space it out a little bit because I want people to, you know, I understand. I have about 5,000 subscribers right now. Most of them have come to me through 2 or 3 different artists, right? Alip, Dimash, those are the 2 big ones. Marcin, who is a phenomenal guitarist, got a bunch of subscribers because of my Marcin videos. Most of them don't watch my other stuff. And, you know, that's fair. They subscribed because I reviewed an artist that they particularly like. But I would encourage people to go through my catalog and see if there's, you know, if there's other artists in there that you like, maybe that you are familiar with. Maybe there are artists that you haven't heard of and you wanna check them out. I do a lot of different stuff, and a lot of the videos I do are artists that have basically no traction, right? I have videos out there that have gotten 10, 15 views because, you know, they're bands that nobody really listens to except me. But I think they're worth listening to. So, you know, check out my back catalog if you would. I think you'll find some stuff in there that you like. Point being, I will do more REN, but I am not going to make this an everyday REN channel just because I want to do other stuff. I think that'll do it though. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Drink lots of water. And be nice to each other. Especially be nice to the people who are, you know, the people who are suffering, the people who don't have a lot going on, people who can't really do much for you. They're the people that need it the most. And they're also the people that tend to get the least of it. So be nice to people.